Hey folks, this is Best in Slot and welcome to Devlog number 36 for Prehistoric Kingdom, February 2021. And, although I've said this every single month lately, the most exciting devlog we've ever had for this game, and you'll see why very soon. Let's get started. So, what makes this devlog so exciting? Well, amongst many new screenshots and new building tools and fences we're going to look at and stuff like that, really the most important thing, and the thing we're going to talk about first, is this little thing up here, new alpha information, and it's a lot sooner than you'd think because, drum roll please, that was a rubbish drum roll, alpha available March 19th, 2.5 weeks time. Ladies and gentlemen, the alpha for Prehistoric Kingdom is going to be available. Now that is a publicly available alpha for everyone who backed at certain tiers in the original Kickstarter, but you can also, I believe, still go buy alpha access on the Critivo website of Prehistoric Kingdom, and therefore you'll be able to play the game yourselves in 2.5 weeks, in 19 days from today. We have had pre-alpha for the last month or so. A few of us have been able to get our hands on the game, but we've been unable to share content. March 19th, that all changes. Let's learn a little bit about what that alpha is going to include. So I'm going to throw some information at your face holes right now. We'll try to get through it snappy, but it is important stuff. So what is going to be included in the alpha before it becomes a beta, and then later becomes the early access release? Those are the next two stages after this. So, on Alpha, we're going to have 6 different animals: Tyrannosaurus, Edmontosaurus, Lambeosaurus, Styracosaurus, Nasutoceratops, and the Microraptor, which is of course our aviary animal, and some of them will have alternate skins and species. We'll have modular systems, creating corridors, platforms, and ramps to navigate around. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Animals are also going to engage in various different behaviours: eating, drinking, grazing, resting, socialising, and broadcasting. We saw in the last video I did a month ago that Edmontosaurus has this very special, it sort of rears onto its back legs and lets out this bellowing, socialising, broadcasting call, so we can expect to see that. Some animals are going to get further behaviours shortly after the alpha's release. I don't know if I mentioned this in the video, my little writing, but it is worth mentioning. The alpha is going to focus mainly on bug fixes. It's not going to add new dinosaurs and stuff like that. It's mainly getting everything up to par, ready for the beta release sometime later this year. Apologies, my voice is a little hoarse. It's a little pony. So what about creative? Well, we're going to have access to terraforming with 6 distinctive tools. We can raise, lower, smooth, flatten, roughen and erosion, which is pretty cool. 3 different paintable water materials and varying depths. Very exciting. We're going to kick things off with 4 biomes. That's tropical, temperate, scrubland and wetland. And we'll have 13 different structures inbuilt into the alpha as well. Infrastructure, guest facilities, enclosure stuff, yada yada yada, bathrooms, information kiosks, a lot of the buildings we've looked at recently. Also in creative, we have 250 plus, so many, 250 plus modular items. That's, slabs of wood, that's rocks, that's trees, well, plants, logs, blah blah blah, just stuff to build bigger stuff with. Essentially, that's where a lot of our time is going to end up going. Apologies, I didn't do the white text here. Paths and fences, 12 different fences, which is insane. That's like the modern fence set, basically includes 12 different fences, and 7 path materials at release, and saving and loading, which is exciting. Love to save and load, who doesn't? Finally then, we have also the management side. We have a basic economy, supply and demand with guest facilities and attractions. If your guests need to urinate, give them a place to urinate. That's what a good park manager would do. Animal production, just turn a profit basically. Basic power management, and also some basic guests. And it seems like, yeah, again, they'll be further updated in the beta. This is still fairly bare bones, but it's, public and out there. It's all very exciting. So that's what we can expect to play with in the alpha. And as I say earlier, it's going to be focused on bug fixes, but much more importantly, so for the last month or so, we've had this pre-alpha access, but we've been unable to share with you folks at home, and I have resisted so much temptation. I haven't been playing it because I thought, when I start playing, when I get into it, I want you guys to be part of that experience with me. So I haven't hopped on yet. But come March 19th, I will be able to share Prehistoric Kingdom live gameplay right with you here on the channel. Incredibly exciting. We're going to do a lot of creative building. We're going to do some, you know, basic zoos and then some fancy ass zoos. It's going to be, I'm very, very excited. I just want to draw a big smiley face on absolutely everything. That's a terrible smiley face. So that's basically everything about the alpha. Now, we've got a bunch of stuff as well about what we can expect, new textures and stuff like that. Some really interesting stuff as well. That was definitely the big news. Alpha, 19 days time. Very sexy stuff, but there is more to look forward to. So, as I've mentioned in the past, we have our new planar reflections in the water. That's pretty cool. The Microraptor has been updated with new feather textures, and also my recording program is blocking it, but I believe it's called an Alula. I don't know for sure, but I think it's this bit here. I believe it's like a small feathery sort of protuberance between the sort of the larger digits, and it's meant to help with like lift. It's basically making the Microraptor a teeny tiny bit more accurate, which is nice to see, basically. One of the big updates, something they weren't sure they're going to be able to do, but they've managed to include it, is now modular pathing for the animals. That was mentioned earlier in the alpha text, and basically this means when you build ramps, when you build bridges and stuff like that, using the modular building tools, your animals will recognize that, and assuming there's enough room, they'll be able to walk all over it and lie down on it and sleep on it and stuff like that. Just a nice little dose of creative control there. My favourite words along with theming. Now, for a little break from my voice, which I'm sure you're all very excited about, we have a very nice, quite short, under a minute long Edmontosaurus audio showcase, and it's also combining with the animations. So you're going to get to see how both of those are going to come together, and exactly what your Edmontosaurus is going to look and sound like in 19 days' time. So enjoy this little video and we'll move on. Okay, after that we have some foliage updates. The temperate and shrublands in particular have been updated. We now have some lovely field elms, which I assume is this bunch over here. We see varying heights there. And we have a big old oak tree over here on the right hand side. It's basically taller trees to give this area a little bit more variance in height. On the next page, another plant for this region, we have the Sabal palmetto, which again comes in varying heights. And you see there, as it mentions in the devlog, it's got this really nice prehistoric vibe to it. That is like a quintessential dino documentary looking plant right there, so very cool to see that come to life. We also have some brand new texturing for our walls. They've found a way to basically double the texture resolution with minimum, if any, impact upon your system, which is obviously really good news for everyone. And this is the progress in the modern set. So everything at the moment is the modern set. The buildings, the fences, everything is this modern appeal. The idea is down the line we'll get more, but this is the one they're planning to launch with. So we've got a few different types of wood, we've got some concrete, some metals, and this lovely rugged stone. Chuck some glass in there, and this is basically my ideal lineup of materials. I really like wood and stone and glass coming together. Unfortunately, we're going to see some glass in just a second. First, we've got a little display of the varying roof textures. These will be, you'll be able to colour these in the future, not quite yet at the alpha launch, but that'll come down the line. We also have the introduction of hay beds, which are, oddly enough, beds, essentially. You know what I really like on this page? The beds are lovely, they're great, but these rocks, these rocks make me so happy. Look at them all these different shapes and sizes and textures, and they just look so inbuilt into the world. They look so natural. It's very exciting. Anyways, there's going to be hay beds, and they will be sleeping spots for your animals, and this is a nice little example. Build a little barn. Again, the animals can climb up your modular buildings, so if you imagine this is your Edmontosaurus, there you go. It's going to wander up there, into there, and go for a little snooze, assuming he can fit. Prehistoric Kingdom devs, if you're watching this, I am available for hiring as an artist, in case you were curious. I've been waiting for the email for quite a long time now, I'm not gonna lie, but you know, you've got time. It's only alpha, there's time, I'm just saying. Someone is revving their like 10cc scooter outside my window. It's driving me insane. Anyways, modern glass fences. So as I said, there's going to be 12 types of fence at release, which is nuts. And that's just the modern set. This is our first proper look at the new glass set. Again, all of these come in different heights, which you can then stagger in different ways, up hills and stuff like that. But it's just, you know, fairly nice and simple. Good way of getting yourself some extra visibility. We also have a lovely concrete fence if you want that extra little bit of toughness. But what you can also do that's pretty cool is combine the two, and it's beautiful. We haven't got to see many exhibits from the outside, from like a guest perspective. Still no word on a guest camera, by the way. Just I'm watching you, Prehistoric Kingdom devs, alright? Let's get a guest camera going here. There may already be one, but I want to make sure. Anyways, so that's a nice view from the outside. I love the texturing on this concrete wall. I mean, look at it. It's beautifully detailed. You can't see what I'm drawing here. It's an arrow. Oh my god, what the hell? It's an arrow. There we go. Look at that beautiful texture. Blends in really nicely with the glass. Again, lovely creative control. Put some ivy along the grass. It looks fan-freaking-tastic. And I cannot wait for those 19 days to go. It's going to be a long-ass first half of March, I tell you. Anyways, that's it in terms of new stuff. So you can expect to see all of this in the game in 19 days' time. This is what we're going to be playing with. There's a limited dinosaur roster, but really, it's going to be about messing around with the tools, you know, bug testing and stuff like that. We want to make sure this is only the alpha at the end of the day. We're still not even in early access yet. We've got a beta to go before then, so you'd expect some game-breaking bugs here and there, but generally speaking, we're going to flex our creative muscles a little bit. We're going to build some parks. We're going to make some themed things, because I love themes. We're going to be able to make our own little mini aviaries and stuff. There's a lot of really cool stuff on the way. Before we go, though, we do have a look at the Brachiosaurus, again in a really nicely built custom habitat. It looks like a giraffe habitat, essentially. You could replace those brachis with giraffes, and I think it would be fine. Like, you wouldn't really notice the difference. You can see one in here having a nice little, you know, little lie down inside the shade. This little happy boy poking up towards the camera. Just a nice, pleasant looking habitat, the kind of thing we will be building very soon. And then there are a couple of images people have been building in the pre-alpha. Of course, we can't share that publicly, but as with last time, the devs have picked out a couple of different builds that people have done. So the first one is by Dino Bob, who's built this really nice looking modern facility, guest area looking kind of thing. You can see the aviary here in the background and then some buildings in the distances. I think this is meant to be like the entrance to the park, essentially. Just a nice little display of the kind of things we'll be able to put together. And then a much more natural scenery update by Dino Mans. People are very obvious with their namings. We've got Dino Bob and Dino Mans. But just a really nice natural environment. You can see they've kind of seemingly built a habitat or something into the rock up there and up there as well. Maybe you could even build like across here and connect the two. Who knows? I'm very sorry, Dino Mans. I'm ruining your lovely picture. That's it, folks. I know I kind of flew through this. It is Sunday night. I wanted to get this out ASAP, and my throat is killing me, but that is just this. This is just so incredibly exciting. It is disgusting. I don't know what to say. It's 19 days away, and yeah, it's only alpha. It's missing most of the creatures. You know, this is like a 10th of the roster. I think it's 50 in the final roster. I can't quite remember, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This will last us until the beta. Then the beta will add more stuff in, and then the beta will last us till early access, and then even if you haven't backed it on Crytevo or on Kickstarter, you'll all be able to get hold of it in early access, which will happen hopefully sometime later in 2021. It does seem likely that that will be the case. We are in the end game, folks. That's what matters. We're here. Finally it happened. The game has come such a long way. Big shout out again to the devs, who are not only insanely talented, but just genuinely really nice people. I really hope the game takes off and does as well as we think it all deserves to. So yeah, I'll see you here in 19 days. We will have a playlist. We're going to play the hell out of the game. Hope you're all excited. I know I am. If you aren't subscribed already, definitely hit that subscribe button to be ready for that. Hit the like button down below if you're excited. Leave a comment down below and tell me how much your brain has exploded. And I'll see you lovely folks next time. Oh, and if you want to check out this devlog for yourself, as per usual, I will link it in the description down below. Thank you for joining me. Cheers, as always. Bye-bye.
Reaching out.